I can call myself a king.
King of SEO.
Yeah, bro.
Sir. ChatGPT.
Overrated.
Please tell me why. So it's like you never reach your peppers, but you work in your peppers.
I did IT.
Imposter syndrome. Explain what that is.
SEO is the process of...
Is there money in SEO?
It depends.
Are you making good money?
Nothing.
So, Bafetu, that's how you tell your boss that he's wrong without getting fired.
There's a guy who did a SEO heist who got like millions worth of visits in like 3 months. Google flagged him because Google is trying to defend his space. It doesn't want anything AI generated to be shown on the search. If you know what's good for you, you try to abide by best policies.
And like, for instance, I want when people search on GPT, TMC podcast, I want to rank #1. Like, is there anything like that?
SEO is very broad.
Yo, that was quick. Yes, sir. Welcome to the Millennials Corner, where most of us are lost in a trance. Yes, sir. What do you do, Bafetu? Thank you so much for joining us on yet another powerful episode of TMC Podcast. On this episode, we will be looking into SEO, short for search engine optimization. But before we get started, if you're seeing us for the first time, please do us a solid and hit the subscribe button, because it definitely does help keep the magic at TMC alive. And if you've been here before, stop whatever that you're doing. Go and let your friends know that you're watching the TMC Podcast. And just to jog your memory on what we're all about, TMC is the brainchild of some super cool millennials who love talking about technology, creativity, with a sprinkle of everything else in between. So without any further ado, SEO. But as always, I'm not here alone, as I like to bring you the experts to give you the facts from experience. I am joined here by a man himself who's been in the space for over 10 years, actually, where he started in paid advertising, web development, content creation, and then later on he decided that he will actually pivot and focus strictly on SEO, which he's been doing for a while now. I'm talking about the man himself, the founder of a YouTube channel called Let's Optimize with D, Mr. Dzunani. G, thank you so much, man, for joining us on TMC Podcast. You are progressive.
No, thanks for having me, man. Really appreciate it.
How did you receive the invitation?
It was pretty interesting, my guy. I mean, I've seen your space. It's a really cool space where you got your creative, your tech people, career women and men of SA coming together and sharing in their advices, their experiences. I mean, this is really dope, and yeah, it's looking out for the black child, hey?
And you were like, that's cool. Even me, I want.
I was like, me too,
Okay, man, so before we get started here, we have culture, right? So there's this cool wine brand, Barigil Roy Manitu. They actually created this game for us, Barigil Icebreak, right? So we play this game called Underrated or Overrated. So how we play this game is that I'm going to give you a term, and then you will decide. I'm like, you tell us if it's overrated or underrated. In one line, you tell us why you think that is.
Sweet, man, sweet.
So if you're wondering who Roy Manitu is a range of effervescence wines. And then if it's something that you feel like you're into, please check the contacts on your screen, hit them up, check their website, see if maybe they have something that is for you. But without any further ado, Bafetu, let's play the icebreaker, underrated or overrated. So they have given us like this cool box, Waibo. So right, transform. We want to make it what we want to make it. Let's see. They want to have your hand in a way that I'm comfortable. Yeah. So my G, the first one here, sorry, ChatGPT.
Overrated.
Overrated. Please tell me why.
I think people don't understand how to use it, don't know how to use it well. So it's very overrated, and it's caused a lot of commotion for no reason, man.
Oh, yeah? Okay. Social media?
Overrated.
Okay. Tell me why you think so.
So you'll never hear of the news that will last for more than 2 days, right? I mean, people could be dying somewhere in Orania. We'll only hear about it one day, for 1 day only, because of social media. And then someone is in Malamlele trending, then that story about people dying is dead as well.
I get what you're saying. User experience?
User experience, underrated.
Underrated. Tell me why you think that is.
I think people don't understand the power that user experience has to do, not just in tech, but everywhere. Yeah. I mean, whether you're driving your car, if what's like your best user experience? Well, how do you go about the traffic cycles or the roundabout? A lot of people don't understand why it was designed like that. So without user experience and everything, it's just...
Okay, that's actually a good perspective around it. AI, but artificial intelligence,
overrated.
Okay. That's actually like the first.
AI has been in existence for a shitload of time. When they created computers, that was AI, right? So they just keep on building onto it. And I don't think the level that we are yet here now is the level where AI will end. So everyone is all excited about AI, and it has been around for like a number of years.
Okay, I think we're actually going to get time to unpack this further later in the episode, because I would actually like to pick your brain around this. Cristiano Ronaldo.
It's a goat.
It's a goat.
It's a goat. That's what I gotta say.
Okay. You want to tell us why?
It's just better at everything, my guy. You are born somewhere in Portugal, you try to play Nyana, but you don't have like that skill that will make you a better human. And then you put in time into developing yourself, from your looks to your skills and everything. With that, my guy, to me, you're hard work and you're a goat. And that's what CR7 is.
So you're my boss. Saving money.
Underrated. Okay. A lot of us don't have the financial information background where you know why you're saving money. For someone saving money at a Capitec account where they might get 15 cents or 10 cents for every 1,000, that's saving for them. And then you find someone with a financial management or background, and then they get to say $500, right? They're like, okay, this is your $500, save it. It's up to you to decide what you do with it. That guy takes that 500 and puts it into Mr. Price shares. Comes back after a year, is getting like 100% or 89%. Now that's how his savings worked. It worked for him instead of the bank.
Amazing. Google Analytics.
Google Analytics was underrated. Google GA4 overrated.
Okay. Tell me why that is.
So it was underrated in a sense that it was excuse my French. It was simple to use, right? GA4, whether you've used UA, Google Analytics, whatever version of Google Analytics you've used, if you go to GA4, it's like, okay, what's this? And then while you're still trying to figure out, now you got the hang of it, and then it's like, okay, where's the data that I used to get back there?
Exactly right. So I know exactly what you mean, Doug. So SEMrush.
SEMrush, overrated by the guys in the UK and the States, underrated by South Africans.
Okay, so your stance as a South African is underrated, right?
Yeah, for us it's underrated.
Why do you think that is?
Say, being in this digital marketing space, I know that SEMrush caters for all the channels, whether it's social, organic social, or paid social, paid search, display, and all that. It caters for all, but so far, in my experience, only 2 people have used it. Technical SEOs and content SEO for ideas. A lot of guys don't really know that, you know what, I can get this guru package, it caters for, ticks all the boxes.
Amazing. Okay. Buying followers?
It's pointless.
Okay. Tell me more. So overrated, underrated?
It's overrated. It's overrated.
Why do you think that is? I
think it's in a sense that you buy followers, but these are not people who are really interested in your content. So what it is that you value here? People consuming your content who actually can relate with your content, or just a bunch of people who are there for the sake of being there. But when you go and check your studio, you're like, okay, the average time spent is like 1 minute. And you've got a podcast that goes for like 1 hour 30 plus. So then you get a sense like, okay, I'm the one who's seeing it. And people are not seeing it, but I'm the one who has to be like, you know what? I think I'm creating real content. Or there's just these people who are coming for the sake of, you know what? I was there, now I'm out. So it really, also it doesn't grow you as a person. Like, okay, am I growing or not?
Yeah. Speaking of content marketing.
content marketing still not being understood by many people, so I think it's underrated.
Yeah. Sweet. Yes, sir. So that's how we come to the end of this amazing game. I hope the ice is broken. Now I'm good, my G.
Ice broken.
Oh, okay. Yeah, so now, my G, let's get into the things now that, the nerves are officially calmed down. What I wanted to start off with, right? I know that, like the best place to start is to understand who you are as a person in your background. But one of the burning questions that I have actually for everyone that I meet, it's, I would like to know if people are living their purpose, especially with what they are doing today. And yeah, that's basically what I'm asking you. Like, do you feel with everything that's happening in your life or what you're doing professionally, do you feel like you're living your purpose?
I'm on my way there. In the time being, I'm content. I'm not complaining about everything, but I'm on my way to like where I'll say, I think I've reached it. I think I'm living my full potential, my full value. Yeah, and I'm on my way there. It's going to be a journey. Don't know how long it's going to take, but I don't take anything for granted that happens now. I mean, for like many black people, we suffer from this thing called the imposter syndrome.
Yeah,
so you do something, right? You do something like you do it good. You start your podcast, I start my things, and I'm harvesting these wins like every month. And then you're like, you know what? I'm not going to celebrate this because I haven't reached that aha moment, and that is taken away from you as a normal person. And then you start like, you know what? I've actually been going from ABC in the past 3 months, and I've never really taken time to say, you know what? I know you deserve a pat on the back. Exactly. So yeah, for me, it's me just pushing myself to get into that place where I would say, you know what? Now I'm comfortable. This is where I want to be. This is where I said I want to go and be when I began this whole journey.
I don't know, but I feel like that's a very interesting perspective to put on purpose, right? Because you speak about purpose as if it's a destination that you work towards, and then like with an expectation of hopefully reaching someday, right? So is that what it is to you? And I'm asking this because I personally feel like with purpose, it's not necessarily something that you can work to. You can work towards getting to, like a destination. It's something that you continuously work in, right? So it's like you never reach your purpose, but you work in your purpose. Does that make sense?
It does, but not so much in my case.
Okay. Because, but anyway, it's fine. Yeah, it's fine. I do hear what you're saying. So you mentioned something interesting, and for somebody who's watching, they might wonder what it is, imposter syndrome, right? So do you mind to actually explain what that is?
It's a situation, my guys. A situation where you know you belong. You get into a room full of executives, right? Yeah. And they're all vague, all white, and then you think, okay, I'm the only black here. How are they gonna take me? How are they gonna treat me? And then you kill it, and then you still feel like they did not take it right because you're used to maybe some another group of people. And then we're like, okay, so they didn't laugh at the joke, or I said something no one nodded. Meanwhile, you killed it, and they're busy discussing behind the back doors, like, you know what? No, he killed it. I've never seen a presentation like that. Yeah. So it then starts to build up. So everything that you do, all your wins, you don't celebrate them because you don't know, okay, have I done good or not? So it's like second doubt in yourself.
How do you overcome it?
For me, it was just to take a step back and be like, you know what, I've done a lot over the past years, and I've never really celebrated anything that I've done. So now I do something real small. Could be planting a tree, right? Yeah. I'm going to say, well done, I did well. Did something bigger, Nyana. I'm going to say, you know what, month end, I'm getting paid. I'm going to celebrate this win. Yeah. And for me, then it starts to build up. So I now know whenever I go anywhere, coming to this podcast, after that, I'll be like, you know what, that was a good interview. I'm happy. So that's me celebrating the small steps, and then it starts to build up your imposter syndrome. Then you start to feel like, you know what, I'm here for being here.
That makes sense. Just one last question around this issue of purpose. Do you think people who suffer with imposter syndrome have confidence issues?
I won't say it's confidence issue, my guy. It gets a little bit psychological, and I'm not right, but I won't say it's confidence issue, because you find that it's the guy with the best confidence when you are sitting there, when you are sitting with your guys. You'll be like 10, 20 people there. Is the most vocal, but it may still suffer from this thing called imposter syndrome. So it doesn't have to do with your day-to-day confidence, just how you relate to yourself at the end of the day.
Amazing. Like, I think, the way you putting it, it makes me feel like imposter syndrome. I don't want us to delve deep on this because we've went too far, way too far. And this is about SEO, remember? So like, it feels like imposter syndrome is something that cripples in while you are alone. It never really happens when you're in public. It happens when you're with yourself and doing like that deep self-introspection that, do I really belong here? But deep down, you've done it. You've proven to yourself and the people around you that I am capable of doing it, but you still feel like you're not good enough. But anyway, before we actually get lost in this interesting topic about purpose and imposter syndromes, let's take it back to SEO, the work that you do. Right. For somebody who's out there, probably hearing about the term SEO search optimization for the first time. How would you explain it to them?
It depends. No, I'm just kidding. See, that's an inside joke in SEO. So yeah.
I'm like, I don't cheat. Oh, now what joke talk? Yeah.
So it's first. I'm gonna explain what SEO is, right? In plain terms. So SEO is the process of manipulating search engines into thinking that you are number one for the given keyword. So say I'm looking for a pair of socks, and I'll go and create a page on socks. You create a page on socks, someone else creates a page on socks. So if I've done enough manipulations in the eyes of Google is going to say, you know what, this one is very important, I'm going to put him number one. And at that time, I'm selling some socks from Temu, they're like size 0, but you never really see, because I've told Google, you know what, I think I'm worthy to being here. Yeah. And that's what SEO is. And then for your normal day-to-day person who's not very technical, SEO happens when you go and search for something, whether you want to buy a car or a new set of wheels and all that, right? So you search for something on your browsers, could be Chrome, Bing, any browser is a search engine. So yeah, you just search for that phrase, and then all the results that you get, they will be highlighted with ad, which means that it's an advertisement. It's not really organic. Sure. And then after that, you get served with listings where on some browsers you'll see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then you see different results from different websites, of which will have a little bit of a highlighted text, which we call a title, and a bit of a description as to what to find when you get to that page. And that's what SEO is.
Why does it matter?
Why does it matter? Think of it this way. Many people, say you're working, right? And you get paid like an average South African, middle income South African who has other responsibilities. So your money may not last you from the 1st till the 31st. It may end up somewhere about the 20, and then you call that
Mampara week. Yeah.
So during that Mampara week, you need to be seen, right? So if you need to be seen, you don't have the money, but you still have something organic, something that's always there to make you a little bit prominent. So you don't have your nice suit, 3025, but you still have your shirt, which is always there. And that's what SEO will always be. All the nice suits that you are renting, at the 20th, if you can't afford it anymore, you take it back. You know what? You're like, okay, you know what? I'm not going to wear this. Because I can't afford it, I'm left with this. This is always there.
Okay, and then in technical terms, like the actual SEO terms, how does that work? I get the analogy.
With SEO, it's always there on your Google search results, right? So it will never go anywhere because it's not an advertisement. You don't pay Google for it to be there. So it's always going to be there. And then what's above it is the paid search results, which you have to pay every time it shows and someone clicks on it.
So those are the ones that has a tag that's written sponsored.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. We're going to actually get back and talk more about SEO, and some of the job opportunities that, people can explore in that space. But before we do that, I'm sure a lot of people are wondering, who's this guy who's now telling us about buying suits now? Let's take it back, right? Tell us who you are, J.S. Dzunani, where you grew up, the kind of schools that you went to, the things that you kind of like picked up in inspiration or were even influenced by in your upbringing.
I grew up in Giyani. It's a small town in Limpopo called Giyani, with a little township called Section A, E, F, D1, D2. So that's basically what Giyani is, located in Limpopo. And yeah, I did my foundation, primary, secondary school that side. I never really liked to play a lot. I think I was like one of those lazy boys, nyana. So I would play soccer, but I was not the strongest. So I'll sneak out every now and then, go and watch Dragon Ball Z, come back after that 30 minutes, nyana, and then finish the training because the training ground was right next to my house. So I did my high school in Giyani as well. Was a smart lady. I think I got things every now and then. I didn't need to study all the time. It's like one of those guys who goes to school with one book for everything. And yeah, that was my upbringing, right? In the early days, and then moved to Gauteng to pursue our studies in information technology, IT, specializing in development software. And I left that and went to do marketing management. And yeah, so that's why I fell in love with marketing. And back then we used to have our Jason from Generations.
Yes.
So yeah, that was like
communications.
Yeah, that was me. I wanted to be like that. And I went to marketing. I studied it. And I'm like, hey, this is not the same as what the TV shows.
Sure.
But I continued. I think I was like starting to get the hang of it, excelling in class. And yeah, did that. Supposed to do my in-service to graduate and get your diploma. Did my in-service. It was like the total different of marketing. They wanted us to go into the street and market. This thing where you like, where you give people pamphlets.
Okay, I did.
Yeah.
That's really funny.
So I was there, like the first day, I'm like, nah, I don't think I'll survive here. So second day, I went to see my manager, and the fact that we both went to UJ was another benefit for me. I told him, like, dude, say I did IT, right? And I see that you have some guys who are trying to build a site. How about I come with my marketing and my IT background to speed this a little bit quicker? Right? So I was like, yeah, I think that will work, but hey, it's not up to me. So you have to approach the CEO. Then I had to draw up. I'm still there. This is my first gig, right? My second day, I have to draft a presentation to the CEO and present it to him and let him know why I should be moved from that and in the pamphlet thingy magic to studying like this thing called digital marketing, because I researched it as digital marketing. And it was a quick research, my guy. I just found some images on Google and I just put them here. I'm like, this is what digital marketing is, social media, you need to do this. So it's like, okay, you know what, fine. If she will work with you, then I'm happy. So yeah, I started there, helped the guys with some content, started creating content, managed the company's page on their social media. So yeah, so my content, I started being a creative for that moment. And yeah, so I moved around, went to the Home Affairs, did the same thing. And then I was like, you know what, social media is too much for me. These people are very brutal. And yeah, I found it like a little bit time consuming. So I was like, you know what, I think I've done this. I want to look at SEO and PPC. That's what they used to call it back then. And yeah, I moved up in the ranks, working with different agencies. And until 2018, when I said, you know what, I'm done with paid search. I'm going to do SEO only. Yeah. So I started doing SEO, started spreading my wings a little bit. And yeah, I moved around until now.
Very interesting, man. So during that time where you are handing out pamphlets and then now you feel like, nah, this is not where I belong. I actually belong in a different place. Who are the people that you're drawing influence or maybe even inspiration from to say, actually, I saw this person do that and this is exactly something that I see myself doing?
There was no one, no, absolutely no one, my guy. Because remember, before that day, I didn't know there was such a thing as digital marketing. So for me, I wanted to be like what Jason, like I said, I wanted to be those guys who in the suits, walking around the agency, like screaming, hey, we need to do this. Let's do an ad now. Let's camera action. I thought it was like that simple. That's marketing, right? So for me,
that's
then I'm like, and then I'm like, okay, I don't even have a role model. So I have to like build myself up, teach myself everything that I know. So yeah. Not really foundation from school where I'll be like, you know what, I studied a bit, nyana, so I understand. So I had to teach myself as I go. Go see some YouTube videos, join some forums, ask questions, and yeah.
Talk me through the companies that you worked for previously. The reason why I'm asking this is because I actually would like to know that from working for the companies that you did, because I believe most of them are actually of a high caliber, might have had like some learnings that you take into every gig that you go in. So just walk me through that.
Yeah, my guy. So this company is where I did my in-service. So it was basically a sitter thing magic, you know. The pay is not that great. It's like they're just giving enough to get by. But yeah, it was where I did my first in-service, and like I told you, I was supposed to be doing pamphlet handing in the street and be like, hey, there's this company which offer these services. So I didn't do that.
So you went to UG to give out pamphlets in the street. Come on.
Imagine, my guy. So yeah, so that's where I think I got my first learning. It was to be able to stand up for yourself. If you don't, then yeah, nothing's gonna happen. If you don't tell your manager that you're not happy, you don't tell your, not just your client, your service provider, your client that you're not happy, your boyfriend or girlfriend that you're not happy, you're never going to know what's at the other side of you telling them, you know what, I'm not happy, but I think I can do this. So yeah, and me being able to step up and say, hey, I've done 1, 2, 3, how about I do this for you? That really helped me have that thing in myself where I know, you know what, anytime I'm not happy with something, I can voice it out and say, hey, I'm not happy. So yeah, that was the first one. And then I moved around a bit. I went to Home Affairs, didn't learn Czech.
You worked for Home Affairs?
Yeah. So yeah, I was in the communications department, which is responsible for organizing events for the minister and all that shit, right? Yeah, I didn't learn anything. Nothing. Nothing.
Yeah, but I mean, it's the government.
Still don't know today how they book these artists. And I was doing that apparently. I was booking artists whenever they're going somewhere and then they have MBs. So that's what I was doing. But I still don't know. I'm like, okay, it's done. We're here. I've got the billboard. I've got those banners, backdrops, and flags done. That was the comms that I was succumbed to. But it's a good organization. I'm not saying anything. Yeah, and then I moved around. I went to WSI, was doing SEO and PPC, and also social. I learned a lot there. I broke my first website, which was an international client based in the States. And in me breaking the website, I didn't even realize that I broke the website. I was just called into the CEO office the next day. Yeah. Then they asked me, they're like, you are working with this site, what happened? And tell you the truth, because I didn't know. Like I said, I'm self-taught. I had no idea what happened. Yeah. But then he told me that thing, you know what? You can retrace your steps to find out exactly where you went wrong. Whether it's in life, you marked someone, be like, okay, I shouldn't have done that. So yeah, I think for me it was like, you know what, sometimes you can wind back, you can think like, okay, this is the process, this is what I did. Like for me, like I'm a very structured person, so I know where my keys are. If I don't know, I will like try to relive, okay, I came back to work, I was wearing this, might be in my bag and stuff like that. So it taught me how to draw processes for myself where I know I'm going from year to year to year to year. If something breaks, then I have to look at my funnel like, okay, what actually broke there? And how do I do it better the next time?
That's actually a very interesting story, because it reminds me of this instance where I did something that I shouldn't have done. at work. And I denied it because I knew that there's no way I would have done that. But I was the only person who could have done that. You know what I mean? Because you're the only person who has access to that. So I worked for this digital marketing agency. They had private property, as their client. So what happened, what I was doing, it was social media commentary, right? So I would respond to every comment that came through, right? So I was working in the content team at that time. I was still starting out, right? So on our Facebook, they would post like beautiful houses, man. And then people would comment, would go there just to say inspirational comments. So this person posted, "This is such a beautiful house." Then I replied, "It's a nice place to fuck," right? But my intention was to write, "It's a nice place to have fun." I don't know, maybe I was so exhausted, but when I traced back my step, I just had that, I just remembered that I probably meant to say it's a nice place to have fun, right? So my boss calls me and is like, "Guy, what's happening? I saw this post is trending. What happened?" And I'm like, "Okay, let me check." I went back to that post and I'm like, "No, who could have done this?" Man, we had an internal meeting, a whole full-blown internal meeting, trying to actually figure out who could have done that. I was so panicking, man. And then I had to trace back my steps, and I figured out that I definitely did it. It was me, and it was a typo. I don't know why my PC would suggest that I wanted to type "fuck" on Facebook. Yeah. But yeah, that story actually reminded me of that instance, which was like a serious learning curve for me. Yeah.
Then I wonder how long it took the house to sell. But yeah.
Yeah, finance, very fast. Trash sells inside. Yeah. So, and then which one did you jump into after that?
So I went to this other company that I'm not going to mention the name of, and I started out as a consultant, moved into further stages, then become the head of SEO and PPC. And what I learned there was that thing that you need to stand up for yourself. If I'm the head of PPC and there's someone getting paid more than me, doesn't make sense. They're only doing one thing. They're either doing SEO or PPC. I'm doing both. But someone just came in, reporting under me and getting paid way more than me. Definitely doesn't make sense. So there,
was it a color thing or a qualification thing?
Not necessarily, man. I think it was a color thing, but story for another day. So that's where I learned to, know your worth, know your value. Don't settle for cack if you're not going to take it, right? Yeah. So, yeah, I found it from there, and I learned to, it's fine to say F you and move on if you don't feel valued. And that's what I did. And at that time, I didn't even have time to go and explain, hey, this is why I'm leaving. I just felt undervalued, how could you do this? And then at the end of the day, you go and tell me it's business. I should have come and speak to you. Yeah, one. Then I don't know my value now. It's hey, I can't be bored just because.
Yeah, but don't you feel like perhaps you could have approached the situation differently? Because, if you don't say anything about it, they probably feel like, oh, maybe he's comfortable with it.
No, I definitely had an exit interview with them. And I told them after I left, this is the reason why I'm leaving. It's not that I'm not happy. I was happy, got happy. But I'm not going to be disrespected in terms of ranks, right? It just doesn't fucking make sense. Think back at home. I will never eat before my father eats, or pick a piece of meat before my brother picks one.
Is that what happens in black households?
I thought it was common knowledge.
No, but I don't know.
If you are very cultured and you are from the rural areas, and they dish up in one bowl of meat, the other one of pap.
Oh, okay.
You're just gonna grab the pap, get the lichnya, and then just wait for the bigger brother to pick the first piece.
Oh, okay, cool. And then that's how you left. Yeah. After that, you went for greener pastures.
Yeah, I think I went for greener pastures.
Is that where you currently are?
Nah, I moved.
Hey man, noisy.
It's been a journey, bro.
Hey, for lack of a better way to get out of famous SEO jobs.
Yeah, so I went there. It was my first time working with ladies. We are doing SEO because I always say that conception that, that perception, not conception. Justice. Yeah, that perception that, that perception that there's no women in SEO. So, yeah, because we've been deemed as like the most hectic people, the most confusing people. Nobody understands exactly what we do and all that. So there weren't really a lot of women, and I got to work with some women. Then I started to understand like the dynamics, like, hey, you know what, you need to stop gatekeeping, right? So that's where my love of what I'm currently doing now comes from. Having worked with the other people, and I think a lot of them said, hey, there are people who are gatekeeping, they're not giving us enough information, and information is free. So if you can give out information, why not? You're just making the other person better. At the same time, you're also learning something from when you're explaining something.
Amazing, amazing. I love to hear that. So would you say, like from your latest experience that you told us about, would you suggest that SEO is kind of like a team sport?
Yeah, definitely, man. SEO is very big, broad, and diverse, right? It's not just you who's looking at the codes, but like, change this H1, add this internal link and all that jazz. You need a guy from UX. You need a guy from CRO. You need a content creator to write you the copy. You may need a dev person. You may also need a digital marketing strategist to incorporate whatever SEO strategy we have with all other strategies to make sure that the website speaks the same message to all your channels, right? Because you don't want to create a strategy in SEO, then someone creates a strategy in paid search, and these strategies, they're not speaking together. It defeats the purpose of you doing SEO, them doing paid search, you guys having a website.
I get a sense that SEO is such a lot of work, and it makes me wonder what a day in the life of a SEO specialist looks like.
Yeah, that's pretty interesting, and it varies person to person. For me, because SEO is always changing every day, the first thing that I do in the morning would be to read blogs, forums, go to my LinkedIn. I know someone from the States probably saw something, maybe Google release an update, of which they don't tell you, by the way, that there will be an update. It just happens, and then you wake up in the morning, and then your rankings are down. But because I go to forums such as LinkedIn, Quora, and all that, I get to learn about anything new that's happening in SEO. And that positions me in a place where I can easily follow the trend. And if there's any informed decisions I need to make in my day-to-day life, it will be purely based on that. So that's the first thing that I do.
Okay. And then after that,
a little bit of this, a little bit of that. But
I get a sense of, I wake up, I do this, go to forums, open my PC maybe to do this, then after this I do that. Like a general day in the life of an SEO expert. If somebody's thinking...
So this one wants to get me fired, you? You want to get me fired, you?
Nah.
No, I'm just joking. I'm just joking.
Contextualizing.
I'm just joking, my guy. I'm just joking. Yeah. So yeah.
Right. But yeah, I'm actually curious to learn what that looks like.
Yeah. So yeah, like I said, it will be like forums, just digesting anything new that may be happening in the digital space or the SEO space, because you never know. You may wake up one day they're like, this doesn't exist anymore. So why would I go to work then? So start, right? And the second thing is I'm so fixated in keywords. So I'll definitely have a look at my keyword tracking tool just to check where I'm currently sitting today. Did I move up in rankings yesterday, last night or not? Is there anything happening with my keywords? Because I need that little bit of celebration. You know what? Yes, I've done it. So yeah, that's the second thing that I will do. And yeah, on a good day and I want to start work, I'll do my site audits, check my search console if everything was fine. Got a little bit of a checklist that I've created for myself. I don't think a lot of people have it. I've shared with a few. Yeah, but so yeah, I'll go through that checklist. Okay, this is still there before I do any actual work. Right?
What part in your day or about your day would you do over and over and over and over? Like you enjoy so much that you do over and over again, even if you didn't get paid for it.
You see, the thing is, being in SEO, you're doing the same thing over and over and over and over again, trying to get the best result. But Yeah, for me, it would be anything that has to do with analysis and insights. I like giving insights because I think my insights, they're a little bit different to what a technical guy would be. It would be like straightforward, like we're seeing X and Y because we've got X and Y. So I try to create some analogies around it, try to create a real life working scenario, which would make it a little bit easier. So I tend to like, you know what, okay, I enjoy this part of my work. I will do it day in, day out.
Amazing. So, you know, I used to work for this organization previously, and my boss struggled to understand why we were so obsessed with SEO, right? So we're in the marketing team. All you wanted was just for content, push content. That's what I want to see. Website blogs, man, I don't care. I just want to see a lot of activity on social media, right? So every time we brought up the idea of marketing and SEO, it was like we are telling him that this business is going to close down. Like he would get like his fury. He said, the guy will tell you all the time that this doesn't matter. I don't care about SEO, right? So for somebody like that, how would you convince them, or what would you say to them that would convince them that SEO is actually an integral part of, or should be an integral part of their marketing strategy?
So I'll basically ask him, how would you feel if you go and search for your business right now at this very moment, and you don't see your name there, but you see this guy was actually a competitor showing when people are searching for your name? And based on whatever answer he gives me, if he say he's happy for his competitor to show when people are searching for him, then it means he's losing money. If he's happy with that, and that's fine. I will not pitch anything to that guy. But I know like 99.9% people will be like, I want my site to be here. And that's where SEO comes in. As a manager, as a business owner, that's why you need to have SEO. Now, let's go back to whatever you're offering the blogs, right? If you could have written this, it means that people will search for this and they will find you, which means more visibility for your website, more clicks into the website, which is, I think this is where you want people to convert. As much as you have interaction in social media, 95% of them don't click into the links that goes to the website. So the conversion rate from your social media is a bit limited compared to the actual person will go to the website, see the website, read whatever you have there, and then there will be a call to action at the end of the day, because that's what you want. You want to drive people there for free who may not know they need this. That's why they went to search for a phrase that's very generic and landed up here.
Amazing. So, Bafetu, that's how you tell your boss that he's wrong without getting fired, right? So you tell him that imagine your competitor is here where you want to be. But I actually definitely love to hear that, King. For somebody who actually wants to start a career in SEO, right? What would you say are the technical and soft skills that they would need to have, like they are non-negotiable?
You need to have patience, my guy. You really need to have patience, because SEO takes a lot of time, a long time sometimes. Sometimes you may yield quick results, right? But a lot of times it will take time for you to get to where you want to be, or may not get there. So you need to have patience and stop beating yourself up for things that you can't control. In terms of technicality, you don't really need to be technical because of the help of AI. It can break down everything to you and tell you what a JS is or CSS script is, where to find that error, and how to brief the dev people. So you don't really need to be technical. And that's the misconception that people have with SEO, that you need to be very technical for you to fit in. You don't need to.
So basically, okay, I hear you. So basically what you're saying is that SEO is a marathon, whereas advertising is like a sprint.
Exactly.
Yeah, I hear you.
Exactly.
I hear you. So you're still telling me about the skills.
Yeah. So one thing that you need to have is you need to have your eye to detail, because there's things that happen you're not even aware of, and they have like very negative effects, or may have very negative effects on your site and rankings. You need to be patient. I've mentioned that. you need to be very analytical or understand how to analyze numbers, things, patterns, seasonalities. That's all you need in SEO. And the drive.
Amazing. So I didn't hear you talk about things like good communication skills. Are these things that don't really matter in the space? Because like every place that you go to, they like you need to be, like good in communication.
Not really, my guy. Like where you're gonna use your communication at. Of course, you may need to present your things here now and then, but if you can present, I think anyone who has a voice, who can speak out, they can present and they can build into that. So it's not.
But not everyone can speak and be understood. And that's where communication, I think, comes in. Because like with somebody who does SEO, like this is what I deduced from what you say, is that if you're in SEO, you need to do a lot of analysis. And with a lot of analysis comes a lot of reporting. And with a lot of reporting comes a lot of speaking, right? So
that's a good one.
If you can't communicate effectively, then you are as good as work at your job, because what makes it is your ability to make people understand or see things the way you see them from a technical stance in a way that they can understand it, like in layman terms.
Let me tell you why I say good communication skills are not a must in SEO. I'm sure you've seen movies, right? Yeah. Where there's like this mad scientist. This guy is always in the lab, dropping those potions, creating something, maybe an antidote, antivirus, or whatsoever. This guy is going to present his product at the end of the day, right, to a group of people. Scientists are not the best communicators. And sometimes people don't even understand them. They just want to hear what? We are winning, right? I'm saying that if you are able to analyze and give insights, if you can just go and read whatever you have there. You don't need to be a storyteller for you to be in SEO.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
I mean, it's the first time I heard that, like there's a job other than just in construction as keys for fitting, but where you don't need to be good in communication. But anyway, with that being said, King, let's talk about some of the challenges that you have encountered as an SEO specialist in your career.
Number one is people not understanding SEO.
Exactly. That's why you should be a good communicator, because if people don't understand, it means you're not communicating things well.
No. Okay, I've dealt with people who have been in digital marketing way longer than me, who didn't understand SEO. Now, it makes no sense to me that all these people who have been working with this guy failed to explain SEO. Right? Yeah. So
you are not the problem.
I'm not the problem. Yeah. I can try to explain, right? But if you don't get it, forget about it. Yeah, but yeah, so what was the question? You see now I'm getting lost in my train.
That you are facing in SEO. I mean, this communication thing took us astray. but yeah, we're talking about the challenges.
Yeah, so people not understanding it. Challenge number 2 is it being owned by search engines, which you don't know exactly what needs to be done, because there's no specific rule book that tells you, hey guy, you've just created a website, this is what you need to do to get to position 1, right? Yeah. And there's no way to guarantee that because I did it to get to position 1, I'm going to do the same thing on this site to get to position 1. It doesn't work like that. So yeah, it's like that thing where you've got the unknown and you don't know how to deal with it. You just have to figure out as you go.
I mean, when you hear people talk about content discovery on social media, especially, you hear people talk about things like algorithms. Does the same thing apply for search engines?
Yeah, there's.
Can't you, like you said, you cannot necessarily predict what next. But if you can, predict ideally how an algorithm or the search engine is built, perhaps you can try to make that to link.
Nah, my guys, Google releases updates almost every day, right? Yeah. They don't mention. They may mention maybe 3 a year, of which will be like big updates, like your core updates. They even mention it, core update. But with that core update, you only speculate what it means. With other things like your Meta, Facebook, if there's an update, they will tell you what this update is. It does. It lends your content so that it sells the best content. Yeah. With Google, they don't tell you anything. There's never been an instance where a consultant from Google goes to people and say, we have created this algorithm update, and this was because of this, and this is what's going to do, and these are the penalties. We in the SEO community have to go and test our sites and figure out exactly what could be the problem. How do you go about it, and why was it there in the first place?
Yeah. Makes sense. And then later on, you decide that you want to start a YouTube channel, and you used to call it "Let's Optimize SA."
Mm-hmm.
And now I went and checked the names. Let's Optimize with D. There's too many YouTube channels out there. Why do you now decide that I'm gonna open a YouTube channel, and how do you do it differently? Just talk me through that decision to open a YouTube channel, and just help me understand what is it that our viewers, rather, because I kind of already know, help them understand what is it that they can learn from videos.
I won't lie. So the first reason why I did it in the first place, right, was to get 1,000 subscribers and get paid. It was supposed to be a side hustle type thing. Yeah. Right. Then after 2 videos, I was like, you know what? I don't think this is why I'm doing this. I actually want to learn. I want to build myself as a brand, right? So instead of let's optimize, I change it. Let's optimize with D, which is me. This is me just getting there in front of my little tripod thingy magic with my ring light, and just speak to what I know, right? That way I'm building a brand. No one else, as far as I'm concerned, is doing this in SA, right? So it means that I've identified something in this niche market where I can speak about SEO and try to educate someone who wants to get into SEO, someone who's looking for a client in SEO but actually doesn't understand what SEO is, break those myths about SEO, and just try to draw the line, because, I've worked with a lot of agency. They tend to bullshit quite a lot, and just try, if you have this problem, this is how you go about it. If you have this is how we go about it, because I've experienced quite a lot in my journey, and now I feel like it's time to take that experience and use it to build my brand, where after I'm done with this, I'll want someone to say, you know what, I saw you there, you said you educate people, or you've got a book that has a course in SEO. We're interested in learning that and see if we can do SEO for ourselves. Yeah. If they can do it, then it means I was a good teacher to that person. So I've ticked the box. If they can't do it, then it means that I've set up expectations for when they get a guy to do SEO. It can be me, can be my friend, can be anyone else, right? But they know exactly the processes that goes into SEO, how complex is it, how frustrating it is. So you will never have that client that say, hey, I want results today, because they know how it works. They're just not able to execute it.
Sure.
Basically, that's the end goal of where I'm trying to go with this.
Talk us through the impact that your YouTube channel has made in your life or other people's lives.
Yeah, so the first one is for the impact that it made in my life was to build up my confidence, right? As a thought leader, I can come up with concept that in the past I would have been afraid to voice out. I can come up with arguments, and I can go to someone who's ranked high and have an argument on SEO without the fear of being wrong. Because as much as I do this, then I start to, you know what, I think I understand this. I think I'm at a point where I think I'm shit out in this. I can call myself a king.
Yeah.
And that's
king of SEO.
Yeah,
yes, sir.
And that's one thing this thing has done for me. It gave me the confidence, the boost, the morale. It's easy for me to step into any room with an executive and speak to them in SEO and try to make it as simple as possible to an extent that they understand what I'm saying. Every now and then it may go above their head, but I mean, you get like, okay, I think we're on the right direction.
Yeah. As a content creator, I think I've seen like a pattern. Well, this has happened to me quite a lot, where I would say, I want to start doing something, but it would take me such a long time before I start doing it. Like I speak about it. I know in my mind and in my heart that I want to do it, but I just don't have the courage to start to press record on that camera and do it. You know what I mean? Where did you draw that courage, man, to say, you know what, fuck it, man, I want to do this. Nobody's going to tell me otherwise, and I'm going to do it. Just to beat that fear of starting out, which is the reason why most people never even start.
It took a long time, maybe a year or year and a half. In the past, I'll be like, okay, I'll not do any face. I'll just come up with a mask and speak with a mask because I didn't want a camera. Then I was like, nah, I think this content is pop. Let me change it. At the time, I had like 10 presentations, right? I was going to do intro to SEO, like stuff that builds up. I'm like, I don't think this is good. It's a little bit too technical. Yeah, so it took a long time. And then I don't know what I did at work. It was a presentation. Apparently, I said something. It was really funny, but they understood in my joking, right? So I was like, you know what? I think let me do this, right? Short snippets, just solve one question at a go. Yeah. And that's when I finally decided to do this. It was, I think, last year or so.
Okay. Yeah. Amazing. So now let's track back just a little bit. What are some of the SEO tips that you would actually give to somebody who's looking to, boost their rankings?
Number one, don't listen to SEO gurus from LinkedIn and everywhere. They don't know what they're talking about half the time.
The same SEO guru speaking. So they shouldn't listen to you also.
I'll practice. But if I stop practicing, then I'm always going to speak about something that was hot and happening 2 years back. Yeah. And because this thing is always growing, what worked 2 years back doesn't work now. So if you listen to your gurus who are not practicing, but they know SEO because they've done SEO for 20 years, it defeats the purpose. That information is not fresh. You need content from people who are still practicing, right? So don't listen to SEO gurus. Start up your own things. Start up your own website, build it, try with it. That way it's easy for you to understand where I'm going wrong, because SEO doesn't have a handbook, right? There's no one who can tell you that you need to do 1, 2, 3, 4 to get to B. So you need to build up that process yourself and figure out what works for you.
Yeah. Artificial intelligence, man. I'm always kind of like very intrigued to learn from different people how AI is disrupting their work in particular. Because like, is there any way in which like AI is improving the way that you work, or is it like creating shivers in people to say, oh, am I going to lose my job to AI now? Or like what's the impact of artificial intelligence in how SEO experts do their work?
That's a tricky one, but the thing is, it does cause some disruptions. It will cause some disruptions, but in my opinion, I don't think it will be in the Google space. Because what Google is trying to do is to look at the back and say, okay, we see this guy with OpenAI. They're taking up a lot of space, a lot of land, and if we lose out on these people, it means that we'll never get money from the revenues we get from the paid ads. So we need to create our own AI. And that's where people will run into, right? The flop will go into Google because Google is free. You just go to your Chrome or whatever browser you're using, and then you search google.com or the google.co.za. So they want to bring this into their platform, and this is not something that is specialized in. So it's still very crap. Compared to ChatGPT, ChatGPT's AI is better than Google's one, right? So
Google has their own
Gemini.
version, Gemini.
Yeah, they have it, but it's not as great as ChatGPT. So if you're not gonna be great than the first one,
but are you unless you are paying for ChatGPT, isn't it? But otherwise, if you're not paying for ChatGPT, then I think Gemini is pretty much on the same level.
No.
Yes. Because like, here's the difference, right? Gemini has updated information.
How do you know Gemini? How many people do not know Gemini but know of ChatGPT?
Mama, I do not deny the fact that ChatGPT is more popular than Gemini.
So wait.
What I'm saying is that if you are not paying for ChatGPT, you might just as well use Gemini on the basis that ChatGPT free version, its data or information is only updated up to 2021, if I'm not mistaken. 2021. Yeah, somewhere there. Whereas with Gemini, you get live information. It's updated live.
But who knows Gemini? No one knows Gemini.
Yeah.
ChatGPT is stealing the traffic from Google.
Sure.
Google makes its money from the traffic you get.
For
So
sure.
if people don't know Gemini, Google is not putting a lot of money into investing in their AI. Yeah. And if they're not investing in their AI to beat ChatGPT, where people are running to, they will never harvest from Gemini. And Google needs to make money to sustain itself. So
I hear you. So do you think that AI still is a threat to SEO? No? Yes?
So no.
Since now there's a group of people who would use like these AI platforms like your ChatGPTs, your Geminis, and your Copilots to search for information, is there a phenomenon about optimizing your rankings on AI searches?
There is for some, but if you carefully go through what Google is doing, right, like I mentioned in the past, there's never been a time where Google say, I'm going to penalize your AI-created content. Yeah. But there's a guy who did a SEO heist who got like millions worth of visits in like 3 months, in a space of 3 months. Google flagged him. Anything that's content written now gets flagged. So is it going to cause such a big disruption or not? Because Google is trying to defend its space. It doesn't want anything AI generated to be shown on the SERPs. And if you know what's good for you, you try to abide by best policies.
I get that. But what I'm asking is that, like, on these AI platforms themselves, right, since people use them and there's a growing popularity around them, is there a phenomenon about optimizing your rankings on AI searches, like on ChatGPT searches, that I want, that, like, for instance, I want when people search on GPT TMC podcast, I want to rank #1. Like, is there anything like that?
No, there isn't, because these things, they're not SEO friendly. So you don't know what you don't know at the moment. You don't know how they're sourcing the information. They're not having any links embedded. If they want to have links, they can have, but they don't tell you, and you don't optimize based on whatever algorithms are run into that open AI or that AI. Yeah. So your thing is, okay, I need to optimize for a search engine, and your AI is not a search engine.
For you remember, for someone who wants to jump into like SEO, like, do you think like they would be making like a good decision? What does the future of SEO kind of like looks like?
Yeah, I think the future in SEO looks good with all these disruptions that are happening in the Google space. There needs to be someone who's going to optimize your website to fight with all these disruptions that are happening, right? You're going to want to start to optimize more for your Copilots, your Gemini, your Google generative search ads, the GSE. So this is something that Google is bringing also into the table, and it will require more optimization from your site if you want to be visible there, because your traditional organic listing will be pushed way below the fold, but it then opens up another area of SEO for where companies will be like, you know what, we really need 3 people instead of 1 to help us stand out here.
Lastly, somebody again who wants to like jump into this SEO as a newbie, what advice would you give to them going into this specific career?
So my advice would be, SEO is very broad. you need to make sure that you try to understand as much as you can in SEO. Only when you are now comfortable, then you can say, I want to specialize in content SEO, tech SEO, off-page SEO, or whatever area of SEO you want to specialize in. But as a startup, make sure that you get to know all the areas of SEO because they are codependent to each other. If you only know of one, then you may not bring as much value as a person who specializes in tech SEO but understands content and how it relates with tech SEO.
Is there money in SEO?
It depends. It depends, like what type of agency you're working for. Some agencies will pay you well, some will overwork you and not pay you well. It depends on how you value yourself.
Are you making good money?
I'm making okay money.
Nizwele bafethu, if you are thinking of exploring a career in SEO, man, mamela, we live in a world where you can literally, and I'm not saying this figuratively, you can literally be anything that you want to become. Only if you put your mind to it. There is a plethora of information on the internet that you can leverage, to take that leap of faith. Yeah, to advance your career, take it into the next step. So, Njaga, there's this thing also on TMC. They like doing things here at TMC. They want you as a guest to ask me a question. Like, just one question, anything that you want to ask me.
Because we're in politics season.
Yo, that was quick.
You had it coming.
Okay, cool.
What would you say to the backstabbers who backstabbed us as a youth? Because we had an agreement that we're not doing something and they did it.
Man, I don't know. Like looking at the IEC poll results, voting results, I was shocked to see the numbers that ANC was making. And you as you probably might have seen that most of those numbers, they'd come from the Eastern Cape, Mpumalanga and Limpopo, and I'm like, how are you guys living under the rock? And it seems like it's the poorest of the poorest people who still continue to vote for ANC. It really feels like they enjoy being in this like abusive relationship with the party, and there's really no justification for such ignorance, man. Because same with somebody who's in a relationship with an abusive partner, there's only so much that you can do to convince them that that is not good for them. As long as they can tell you that you don't understand, or we've been together for too long, I can't throw 10 years in jail away just like that. I think there's very little convincing that you can do, But from where I'm standing right now, as much as I was very skeptical or afraid, for a lack of better word, about another party, like taking over government, I also didn't want ANC to get another term because ANC had 30 years to prove themselves worthy of actually transforming South Africa. But what they have done, South Africa has only kind of like dilapidated under their governance, And from where I'm standing, I don't see them doing anything differently, But also in the same breath, I'm like, I understand those people because I found myself on the same boat with them where I'm like, sure, I don't want to vote for the ANC. And I also don't want to throw my vote away with the small parties, because it's very insignificant. Who am I voting for? You have Malema, who's super inconsistent. Inconsistent in how he appears in public. Me, I'm scared of that guy. I don't want to lie to you. He gives me gangster vibes. I can't even begin to imagine him as the president of the country. We have your Steenhuisen. I just don't want to see, what we have built over the past 30 years, kind of like going back into the exact same thing we fought for, which is racial inequality. And I feel like DA is actually like a catalyst to bringing racism back, into the country. So, for me, I judge those people who voted the ANC, but I also understand why they would still vote for the ANC because of the skepticism around all these other emerging parties.
So basically you're saying no with an exception.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, dog, yeah, bro. That's basically where I'm standing with regards to that. What do you think about it? Actually, I'd like to pick your brain on that.
Sell out.
Who would you rather vote for?
I would rather vote for someone who will put pressure on the ANC, because we knew the ANC was not gonna get out of power, but they will need someone to merge with. So that they're in power. So I want someone who would make them feel uncomfortable as fuck, in a sense that we as young people stop paying the taxes that we're paying, stop doing all the unnecessary that the government has been doing. And there's actually safety in SA where you and I can do business nicely in Joburg without having to worry if you still have your belongings.
However, Fetu, please in the comment section, let us know what you think about this particular thing, especially about voting and all that stuff and who won the elections, because there's so much room for one to say the wrong thing, because there's just like, a lot of opinions around this. So yeah, this is how we come to the end of TMC Podcast Season 3, Episode 2. If there's anything that I learned from Dzunani today is stop listening to SEO gurus. Jaga, koposha camera and close it for us. Don't forget to tell them to subscribe to our channel.
Yeah, don't forget to like. Where's like, share, and subscribe to TMC Podcast.
Beep, 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 beep. Okay, you said it, Buffett. Oh, yep, Buffett too. So we are actually doing this all the way in Midrand. This is actually powered by Black Madonna Studios. So if you want to use the studio space for podcast and elevate the quality to what we're doing here, please, the people, I have the contact details on screen. Please make sure that you hit them up. Their prices are very competitive, like you can even say affordable. But yeah, man, absolutely loving the space. As you can see, it's levels. Remember, it's Black Madonna Studios.